Today I've got a huge update for you on the Sapphire Princess. As I mentioned last week, she is out of dry dock. I've got a lot to tell you about what's going on board that ship, so let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Monday. It is October 20th of 2025, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, will you please be sure to click on the subscribe button, and if you appreciate our updates, please give this video a thumbs up. We are going to do our live this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so come, bring your questions, and be ready to have a fun time talking about cruising and traveling to cruise. Now, I want to start at the very top just with a quick note about current events. My guess is that most of you have seen the news about the major jewel heist that happened there at the Louvre Museum in Paris. And it is really important to me for a couple of reasons, and I think to you that is part of the cultural heritage there of France that was stolen. The jewels that they took the oldest one had been in France's crown jewel since 1661. And so it's a really big deal. Why am I commenting on it here? Because you know what? If you go to the cruise port of Le Havre when you are on a cruise, one of the options that you have is to go into Paris. And I've been fortunate enough to have been to the Louvre a few times, stood in that room, looked at the jewels that were stolen, and it's just such a reminder to me that we never know when things are going to change and we're not going to be able to see what we think we're going to go see. So when you go somewhere, look at all the things that are available to see and make sure that you don't miss out on something that you would really enjoy. And let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Does it not matter to you so much that those jewels were stolen, other than people shouldn't steal? But let me know what you think about it. I'm sad about it, and it's really unfortunate. Alrighty, so what is going on board the Sapphire Princess? So the Sapphire Princess, as I'm sure that you have heard if you follow along with cruising at all, just came out of a dry dock in Portland, Oregon, and took off on their South Pacific cruise. All of the word that I have heard so far is that the cruise itself is absolutely wonderful. I've got a couple of people reporting to me from on board the ship, and boy, do I appreciate you so very much. So thanks for the updates. I did want to let you know that, this kind of sticks in my mind because, the Grand Princess, before she had all those plumbing problems, had a dry dock there in Portland. And right off at the beginning of the first or second day of the cruise, in the afternoon on deck 10, mid-aft, a port side pipe burst, and they were told by the crew on board that it was at a connection that had to do with a dry dock modification. And what pipe break it was, it ended up that 19 cabins on deck 10 were flooded to the point that waves in the cabins. But you know what? True to always with Princess crew, the guests that were in these cabins, the crew cleaned them up right away. They ended up ripping up the padding and the carpet, putting down new, and getting people back to their cabins as quickly as they could. They said that the cruise director announced that the ship is full, so there wouldn't be 19 spare cabins on board the ship, is my guess, but they took care of it really quickly. I feel like it's so unfortunate, but I'm glad that they were able to get it fixed. The next thing is on embarkation day. Apparently a lot of cabins had really high temperatures in them. The guests that were sharing this with me said that in their cabin it was between 78 and 80 degrees. It took 2 trips to guest services 3 times, reminding them on crew chat that the room was so hot, and talking to the cabin steward again, but they finally got it fixed. And so a little bit of a bumpier start there, but it sounds like things are going better. The other thing that happened with a lot of people are telling me from the Sapphire Princess, just telling me this one thing, that their dining has been messed up. And people plan long in advance of their cruise for dining reservations. And more I am receiving emails from people letting me know that they have had these dining reservations sitting there all this time and suddenly they're gone, and either they don't have any dining reservation or they are now assigned with new people, as happened to the guests that shared this with me. So they are, how if you invite someone to dinner or your group wants to go together, you add the booking numbers, you can see the little pictures there in your app. That's what it looked like, except for these were people they didn't know. And so they went ahead and went to dinner the first night. And after that, they thought, we're going to go ahead and get our own table. But I just want to say, I don't know what's wrong with dining. I hope Princess is working on it, because dining is a really important part of cruising. When you have specialty dining, you have a dine line, you have an app that should be able to make reservations. It's really hard when you make a reservation and then they just disappear. So if this has happened to you and you want me to start documenting it, send me an email and I'll start keeping track of it and share it with you all. But this is widespread. It's not just on the Sapphire Princess. It is in a lot of different ships. They're having this problem. It's happened to Gordon and I. And so I think it's, like I said, it's very widespread. Now, the next update for you, and boy, do I appreciate this update. Guess who were on the Sapphire Princess? Last on Friday in our live, we were talking about the changes in the dining rooms that they are making on the Sapphire Princess. So they took the Sapphire dining room and they are turning that into a crown grill. And the Internet Cafe, not international. So the International Cafe is where it's open 24 hours and you can go get food or drink whenever you would like, anytime. The Internet Cafe is where they would have a few computers so that people that needed to use a computer could go there and use a computer. The days of people doing that, everything has changed so much in technology. A lot of what you ever needed to do on one of those computers, you can do on your phone now, or people travel with their iPads or their laptops, whatever they need. So they took that Internet Cafe and turned it into the Makoto Ocean Sushi. And I wasn't sure when they were going to have them done. I thought perhaps they did it all during the dry dock, but indeed no. The construction is still underway on those venues. And it's going to be underway the entire cruise that these people are sailing. So they are expecting that those dining venues will be ready to use on November 7th. And so I'll be looking forward to hearing from people that get on the ship after that. Now they did confirm they still have the specialty dining venues of the Sabatini's and the Churrascaria restaurant, that kind of Brazilian meat restaurant there on board. So those are the two specialty dinings that are available there on the Sapphire Princess if you have the Premier package. So it's got to be something of a disappointment to people that bought that package thinking that maybe that Crown Grill or the Makoto Ocean Sushi place was going to be open. But it looks like November 7th is the day, and she'll be heading down towards South America so that we get to take our Antarctica cruise in January. We're so excited about that. I think it's really important that we kind of stay up to date with how things go on ships. And I don't like to think this. Tell me what you think. Will you please tell me in the comments? This is the second ship that has come out of Portland, that dry dock there, and had plumbing problems. And it's probably just, a random thing. But some days you have to wonder. You just make these little connections in your mind. So let me know what you think about that. I'll see you this evening at our live, and I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.